Welcome, folks. We're going to call a special town meeting to order. Madam Town Clerk, is there a quorum? Thank you. With the time being 6:33 p.m. and a quorum present, we will begin our special town meeting of today, June 13th, 2023. Heather, could I please have the warrant? I am reading the warrant for the special town meeting, and it shows it was probably served by a constable in West Brookfield. And can we stand and have a pledge of allegiance? I pledge allegiance. Just a brief moment of silence. Thank you, folks. Because we have our annual town meeting at 7 o'clock, we're going to try to rush things right along. So with that, I would like to introduce our Board of Health. We have our Selectman Roland Siglenberger, Eric von Blinken, and our newest Selectman Brad Merkel. Rebecca Asser is out, but we do have with us our Town Administrator, Mr. Ron Sanangelo. On the Advisory Committee, we have co-chairs Pam Griffin and Laurie Laughlin, Doug Aspinall, Michael Audette, and Ron Garceau. And real quickly, I just want to thank the people here at the school for allowing us to intrude. Tonight's special town meeting will consist of 6 articles. Our objective is going to be fair, efficient, and effective in our, and there will be, nope, it's the annual. Sorry, no presentation yet. Sorry, Pam. And the only thing I like to do is, from our Constitution, the people have a right in an orderly and peaceful manner to assemble and to consult upon the common good and give instructions to their representatives. And that's why we're here. So to start with, I would move that the town vote to allow the following non-voters to sit with the Board of Selectmen: Mr. Chris Petrini from Petrini and Associates, Mr. Ron Sanangelo, Donna Allard, our town accountant, Nancy Talbot, and Kelly Hitt to sit with the town clerk, and to allow the following non-voters to speak: Mr. Chris Petrini, Police Chief Nathan Hagman, Fire Chief Rich Lapierre, Highway Superintendent Jim Daly, Town Accountant John Madden, and we also have, I'm sorry, I omitted Kathy Landry to sit at the polls. So I will open with Article 1. I move that the town appropriate the sum of $37,721.99 to supplement appropriations previously voted under Article 4 at the annual town meeting on June 7, 2022, for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2022, for various departments, and to meet said appropriations, transfer the following sums. Department Winter Road, salary and wages. The budget was $20,718. Needs an adjustment of $10,668.07 for a revised budget of $31,386.07. Winter roads, other expenses. It was budgeted for $83,640. There's an adjustment of $27,053.92 to make the revised budget $110,693.92. Funding sources will be free cash. Board of Selectmen.
Board of Selectmen recommends Article 1.
Advisory Board. Is there any discussion? Can't hear yet. Board of Selectmen recommended and the advisory board recommended. Since there's no discussion, we'll move to the vote. All in favor say yea. Opposed? The motion carries. Article 2 is unpaid bills. I move that the town vote to transfer from available funds a sum of $14,444.98 to pay the following unpaid bills from the previous fiscal years. And to meet said appropriation, transfer the following sums. The vendors will be Berry Insurance, Department of the Board of Selectmen, is $300. Mass Municipal Association, which was for advertising, Board of Selectmen, $100. Occupational Health Services, Board of Selectmen, $117.12. Endpoint Projection Project, Board of Health, $562.50. Mass Correctional Industries Flag Kits for the Veteran Services, $672. McClure Engineering for the Water Department Testing, $4,100. Borden and Remington for potassium hydroxide for the Water Department, $7,421.06. Solitude Lake Management Water Sampling for the Board of Health, $950. Trash removal for the Recreation Committee, $216.30. Funding source for all would be free cash. Board of Selectmen.
The Board of Selectmen recommends Article 2.
Advisory Board.
Advisory Board recommends approval.
Is there any discussion? There being none, all those in favor of the motion, say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Article 3, unemployment funds. I move that the town appropriate the sum of $5,000 to the unemployment fund, and to meet the said appropriation, transfer the sum of $5,000 from the free cash fund. Board of Selectmen.
The Board of Selectmen recommends approval.
Advisory Board.
Advisory Board recommends approval.
Is there any discussion? There being none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Article 4, other post-employment benefits. I move that the town appropriate the sum of $100,000 to the other post-employment benefits trust fund, and to meet said appropriation, transfer the sum of $100,000 from the free cash fund. Board of Selectmen.
The Board of Selectmen recommends approval.
Advisory Board.
Advisory Board recommends approval.
Is there any discussion? There being none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Wow, that was quick, folks. Article 6, potential fire truck grant. I move that. Good catch. Article 5 is the stabilization fund. I move that the town appropriate the sum of $200,000 to the stabilization fund, and to meet said appropriation, transfer the sum of $200,000 from the free cash, from free cash. Board of Selectmen.
The Board of Selectmen recommends approval.
Advisory.
Advisory Board recommends approval.
Is there any discussion? Yes, could you please step to the microphone? And state your name and address, please.
Bonnie Polsky, 16 West Main. A little bit late, but here we're transferring money from free cash. What exactly is that? Where does free cash come from?
Advisory.
Can you hear me? Okay, yes, I can. Free cash is the return of funds from prior year budgets. It is a one-time source of funds, and it's not a renewable source. So basically, it's money that's come back to us from unspent budget monies in previous years.
Does that answer your question? Thank you. Article 6. I'm sorry, there was a question. If there's no more discussion, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? The motion passes. Article 6, I move that the town vote to transfer the sum of $45,750 from the fire truck stabilization account for the 5% grant match towards a new pumper tank truck, contingent upon receiving the fiscal 2022 assistance to the firefighters grant. Board of Selectmen?
Board of Selectmen recommends approval.
Advisory?
Advisory recommends approval.
Is there any discussion? Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Where would they park it? Why did they need a new fire truck when they got one last year? And how many calls have they had here that involve the fire equipment and not just answering medical calls in the town, assisting with rescue?
Before I go to the fire chief, I just want to say, this is just a transfer to another fund in the event that the grant is granted. So with that being said, I'll let the fire chief. Mr. Lapierre?
I actually didn't catch his last comment. I didn't catch your last comment, Dan. What was the last part?
I mean, your fire call log for last year, how many of those calls were just medical assist calls with the rescue squad, not actual fire calls?
Just last year or this year? Just last year? Okay, so last year, we did assist the rescue squad with 34 medical assist calls. Throughout the year, we had 214 calls total, and 34 of them were assisting the rescue squad. And what we mean by assisting the rescue squad is what we do is if they have a patient that the two people on the ambulance can't get out of a building or what have you, or it could be CPR, we come and assist them. But in most cases, because I'm in the fire station throughout the day, I do a lot of those calls myself. I don't often take a fire truck with me. In some cases, I just use the cruiser, or et cetera, et cetera. Yes, we did buy a used fire truck from the town of Brookfield last year for $25,000. That truck was in 1996. However, it was in good shape. It's still in good shape. We're using it often. To answer your question about why do we need another truck and where are we going to park it? So that truck is aged also. Our engine 1, which is our primary truck, is in 1993. It's 30 years old. The life expectancy of most fire trucks is generally, if you talk to the NFPA, generally between 20 and 25 years. That truck is 30 years old. It's lived a good life. So annually, I write a grant to see if we can get funding from FEMA, Federal Emergency Management. Every year I write this grant, and in some cases, some towns, some communities get lucky. There is over 8,000 communities across the country that applied for this grant. And this year we actually got a pretty good shot at it, so I'm told. So if we get awarded this grant, the town of West Brookfield is responsible for 5% of the grant money. The grant I wrote this year was for $915,000. That was for one truck. 2 years ago when I wrote that same grant, that truck was $690,000. That's how much it's gone up in 2 years. So with all that being said, West Brookfield is on the hook for $47,500. We already have it in the truck stabilization account. All we want to do is transfer it. In case we get awarded the grant, the money's there. It's not going to cost you any extra money. The money's already in the account. It's just a simple transfer. That's all that is. All right? It's essentially, folks, it's a no-brainer.
Thank you, Chief. Does that answer your question, sir? Okay. Then we'll get the vote going. All those in favor of the motion say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Now could, yeah, I'll do it. At this time, I would make a motion that we dissolve the special town meeting of June 13th, 2023. Could I have a second? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? The meeting is dissolved. Thank you, folks.